Hello and welcome into the very disappointed Knicks-Verse. The New York Knicks just lost 125-108. They were eliminated. The season came to an end. There were so many things that went wrong in this game. Eventually, we'll cycle through them all. We have a lot of time for that. I will say this, May 31st will forever be known as the worst day of my life, for sure. It's not just for this. This just added to it. That third quarter, it's almost inexplicable how the Knicks could come out with that effort that they had in the third quarter. They gave the game away. They let the Pacers shoot almost 54% from the three-point line, 7 of 13. They had no answers for them. They were outscored by 11. And they were down 4 already at the half. But, that could have easily have been the other way. They could easily have been up 4. I really thought they were going to come out. I mean, with the fact that their literal season was on the line, you would have thought they would have come out with a better effort in that third quarter, and they did not. They committed 5 turnovers, and somehow those 5 turnovers turned into 14 points for the Indiana Pacers. It is actually inexplicable. When you think that, the turnovers is what's killing us. You would think the Knicks would do everything they can to just tighten up. No. And I'm going to start by saying this. This particular loss tonight, even though, yes, it's been impacted by a lot of other terrible decisions that Tom Thibodeau has made, tonight's loss is on the players. Absolutely 100%. Tonight's loss in this elimination game is on the players on this New York Knicks roster. Cannot blame the coach for this. Of course, he takes some responsibility for this particular loss. But losing this series, losing game 1, after being up 9 with less than a minute left in the game, and you give this game away, it's come back to haunt you now. You removed but it really, yes, I know everyone's going to focus on that game 1 loss, but to me, it was game 2 that was the most egregious of it all. Once you've given up a flukish game, let's just say, to the Pacers in game 1, you should have come out, Knicks players, coach, Thibs, everybody. You should have come out and completely blown the Pacers off the court in game 2. Game 2 is when this series was lost. It wasn't necessarily game 1. Game 1 was a crazy thing that happened, and it happens in games, the flow. But once that has happened, you put it to bed, and then you take care of business in game 2, and the Knicks did not take care of business in game 2. Now, I can blame Thibs for that one, because he was still putting Josh Hart in the starting lineup. And Josh Hart, my God, Josh Hart. Did you have money on this game against the Knicks? Did you have money on the series against the Knicks? Because your play was single-handedly, if I had to point at one specific thing that lost this series, it was Josh Hart's play in this Eastern Conference Finals. And I'll say it right to his face. I actually had a short that I had out earlier a couple days ago, and I felt bad about what I said about Josh Hart, and I took it down. But now I regret it. I regret it tremendously. The New York Knicks season that started on October 22nd has come to an end on May 31st, 2025, with the New York Knicks losing 125-108 to the Indiana Pacers on their home court. The Pacers, you know what? Shout out to them. They did everything they needed to do to secure this victory, and the Knicks assisted them. The Knicks assisted them. The Knicks players did. This will not be a long post game. There'll be plenty of time to dissect everything that happened in this series in a post-mortem. We'll get into it. I'm in tremendous pain right now. Shout out to the chat. Thank you guys for joining me here. I really appreciate it. Chris Lopez, what's up, brother? Liuyo18, Eddie Kofi, Freeway Hasala. If I don't shout you out, don't worry. I mean, I appreciate Big Task, G-Man, Droop the Loop, everybody. It was right there. It was right there for the New York Knicks. But then the third quarter happened. The Knicks lost the third quarter by 11. They couldn't make a bucket. Josh Hart 1 of 4 in 4 minutes of play. 1 of 4. Brunson 5 points for him in that pivotal third quarter. This is the third quarter is the quarter where you come out and establish the tone for the remainder of the game. And the New York Knicks allowed the Pacers to do that on their home court. It's almost like they were not fully aware of what was happening, that this was an elimination game, that the season would be over if they didn't come out and execute in pristine fashion to leap in front and take a lead and build a lead. Instead, they let the Pacers build a 4-point halftime lead into a 15-point lead by the end of the third quarter. And then it was just, the uphill climb was just way too much for these New York Knicks. Deuce, not a good quarter. I mean, everybody, not a good quarter. DeLon Wright came in. Shamet played no minutes in that third quarter. So you can kind of point the finger a little bit at Thibs for that. He played Mitch Robinson almost 11 minutes in that third quarter. Towns, I don't know where he was offensively. 1 of 3. When we go look at the, sorry about that. When we go look at the game stats. Actually, well, let's look at these. Look at this. Points off turnovers. 34 for Indiana. Just 13 for the Knicks. That's a plus 21. That's the margin of the game. And it's not like this is new. We knew this is what could happen. You let the Pacers get out there, out in transition, fast break points. They won that 25-10, a plus 15 there. Pretty much margin of the game. The bench points, 38-20. The Knicks did not win a single quarter tonight. They lost the first by 1. They lost the second by 3. And then the quarter of doom, the third quarter, lost that by 11. And then they lost the fourth quarter by 2. The New York Knicks did not show up tonight. And as many issues as I've had with Tom Thibodeau, and I don't really believe that he is the coach for this team anyway. I never did. Never really did believe it for this roster. Tonight's loss is not on him entirely. Of course, he takes some blame. Coach has to. But it's mostly on the player's execution. It wasn't him out there like Bridges just throwing the ball right to a Pacer. It wasn't Josh Hart forcing a turnover and then going on the other end, immediately throwing the ball right to a Pacer. No, it was the players. The New York Knicks need to trade Josh Hart. They need to trade him. It's too difficult to have him on this team with his relationship to Jalen Brunson the way it is, and he is a negative impact player when it comes to the upper echelons of teams. He has to go. He has to go. We have to replace him with somebody else. There's no doubt about it. Trade him to Milwaukee. Bring back Dante. It's the reason why Milwaukee didn't ask for him. Because they're not fools. They were the fourth team still alive playing basketball late in May, where everyone else was on vacation. Because they didn't want Josh Hart. They knew what a catastrophe he was in reality. He is. And I hate to say it like this, bro. And if you're listening to this, or someone who loves you is listening to this, you know, everything you said about Game 4, you totally repeated it tonight in Game 6. And we needed that Game 4 win. Coming off that nice Game 3 victory, we needed that Game 4 win so you had a little bit of a margin for error. The margin for error was removed when the New York Knicks lost Game 2. You had to be perfect. You had to win 4 out of the last 5 games. Couldn't do it. Came up short. Indiana Pacers won. Indiana Pacers won. And I'm going to very much enjoy the Oklahoma City Thunder completely wiping the floor with the Indiana Pacers. Thoroughly enjoy that. If I can even watch any of the games, honestly. I'm so disappointed. And I'm more disappointed for the whole generation, the 2 generations that have come after me as a Knicks fan. The ones in the Macri and the CP generation, and then the ones in my son's generation, the 25-year-olds out there. You didn't deserve this. You deserved the better effort in this Eastern Conference Finals. The New York Knicks had the better team, but their coach was asleep at the wheel. He waited too long to incorporate his bench. He waited too long to bench Josh Hart, who is a negative impact player. But he made those corrections eventually. But he made them too late. He made it after the cushion was removed. The margin of error was gone. Shout out to the chat. Thank you guys for joining me here. Very much appreciate it. It's the final post game of the 2024-25 season. Yeah, look, man. I've suffered a lot of disappointment in my life, and this is going to go right up there with it. But I will take this any day, any year, any season over the garbage that we Knicks fans had to deal with for 20-something years, where we were irrelevant. We were a laughingstock. And now we were the final team eliminated before the NBA Finals. There is something wonderful about that. It's hard to embrace it right now because the taste of the defeat is so bitter. But the journey cannot be downplayed in any way, shape, or form. It's a tremendous achievement to get this far. Whether they can get back to here, that's a whole other story, and I'll spend a lot of time in the off season thinking about that, spending time with you guys, having videos. We'll be discussing that, but we cannot downplay this achievement. Usually by now, we're so checked out. We're thinking about the draft. You know? Not this year. Not in 2025. The turnovers, man. It just, yeah, honestly, I mean, yeah, yes, they shot 54%. They shot 51% from the three-point line. I mean, it's hard to beat a team when you're shooting 28%. They shot 51%. It's hard to beat a team like that. And we even missed free throws tonight. I mean, Cat, how many free throws did Cat miss? Cat missed 4 free throws. He shot the only Knick to shoot over 66% from the free throw line was Deuce when he made his 2 free throws. Everyone else, DeLon Wright made both his free throws as well. That's it. Everybody else, Mikal Bridges. Sorry, Mikal Bridges, but still, they only attempted 2 each of them. Cat 6 of 10 from the free throw line, totally killed us. Josh Hart tonight, 4 points. He was 1 for 6 in 22 minutes of play. He missed 2 of his only 3-point attempts. 2 of them, he missed them. He did have 3 steals. Only 1 turnover. But his play was just, honestly, I mean, the fact that Thibs can't quit this guy is distressing. And it might end up leading to his firing. Deuce only played 11 minutes tonight. I don't know why. I know he wasn't hitting buckets, but I don't know why he only played 11 minutes. Jalen Brunson, look at the starting unit. Jalen Brunson, minus 11. Mikal Bridges, minus 17. Mitchell Robinson, minus 18. Karl Anthony Towns, minus 17. And OG Anunoby, a minus 15. OG was the high scorer of the game. I think he tried everything he could to deliver a victory for the Knicks. He was 10 of 18 from the field, 55%, but I can only hit 2 of 7 from the three-point line. Apologies to the Super Chats. I did see some Super Chats. Hold on. Let me shut them out. Thank you, guys. Freeway Hustler 21, thank you so much, man. Template coaching. You know, it was template coaching for definitely large parts of the whole season and the playoffs, but he did deviate finally in Game 3. But by that point, we were already down 0-2. So he does bear that responsibility. He definitely does bear that responsibility. This may have been the last game that Tom Thibodeau coaches as a New York Knicks head coach. Shout out to Sandman. Thank you so much for the super chat. He says, Uncle George, do you think after seeing this Leon realizes that he must replace his friend Tom Thibodeau because team is as is reached its ceiling? Whether Leon sees it or not, we see it. That'll be a big question. Honestly, man, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I think that you can make an argument, let him go. He doesn't quite have the finger on the pulse of how to maximize this roster. And based upon the limitations that you're going to have in the offseason, you're in terms of moves you can make, unless they're big. I mean, who knows? Maybe I don't even want to talk about that right now, the offseason. But if it were me, I would definitely fire Tom Thibodeau. I would definitely let him go or promote him. Thank him for his service. Thank him for helping to right the ship, get it going in the right direction. But he just doesn't have the ability to get his players focused with the task on hand. tonight was a great example of that. The players did not look like they knew what they needed to do to secure a victory tonight in a pivotal, in a deciding game, in elimination game. So for that alone, I would thank Tom and send him elsewhere. But whether Leon will do it, honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you right now. I feel like they're not going to do it. I feel like they're going to talk themselves into, well, you look what the Pacers did. They had like synergy last season. You know, they didn't do too much. They didn't panic. They didn't overreact. And look what they've done. They've gone from an Eastern Conference Finals to a Finals. And we went from a second-round exit to an Eastern Conference Finals exit. Maybe next year will be our year and we'll get to the NBA Finals. It's mediocre thinking, but because we're not the Pacers. The Pacers showed signs of life in the NBA Cup last season. Remember, they got to the finals. And then they were able to survive the Knicks last year with all of our injuries. And then they built upon it. They didn't make major moves. They had some synergy from one season to the next. A couple of reinforcements. I think they brought in Thomas Bryant, like little reinforcements here and there. And it delivered them an NBA Finals appearance. Because they will be destroyed in the NBA Finals. And it's not even going to be fun. It will be the worst NBA Finals in recollection, and some of the lowest ratings. I'm going to show you this. This was a pivotal moment in the game. They called this out of bounds. Look, does he even step out of bounds? He's not. He has never He never once even stepped out of bounds. And Tony Brothers, the Knicks have never won a game in the playoffs with Tony Brothers as the referee. That was an absolutely crucial moment in the game when this happened. We didn't get 3 points. They got the ball, and then they scored. That was a 5-point. I don't know if they got, maybe they even got a 3-pointer. And I don't understand why the NBA office doesn't review that and say, no, he didn't step out of bounds. Don't they review all that stuff? I don't understand what happened. And also, why didn't Thibs challenge this? The game was right there. In my opinion, this was the pivotal moment. The pivotal moment. What was the... hold on. Let me look. What was the... What was the... where were we here? Hold on. That was at the end of the third quarter, towards the end, 55 seconds left or something. Yeah, right here. It was a 12-point game. Right here. 87 to 75. Come down. Pascal turnover. Hart steals it. And then Deuce, they call it out of bounds, but Deuce made this bucket. This could have been, could have been a 9-point game right here. Instead, they get the ball. Toppin hits a 3. It goes to 15. And then by the end of the quarter, within a few seconds, the Knicks are down 15 points. Could have been 9 or 50. It was a 6-point swing. 6-point swing that a bad call by the refs in an Eastern Conference final I don't understand how the NBA can allow that. That is unfathomable. Shout out to we survey 100 people and Sandman again for the super chats. Really appreciate it, brothers. We surveyed says not the ending we wanted, George. But here, appreciate that. But here's to you. We appreciate your insight and passion. This is year one of this team. We will get better. I love your. I love it. I love that optimism. I do believe that this is not the that the window for the Knicks' success has not closed on us. I do believe that, and I'll be talking about that in the off season. I will definitely be discussing that in the off season. I don't think this is all she wrote. Like we're just one and done. I don't believe that at all. I believe that we're going to build on it. Brunson is who he is. We got Towns. We got OG McCall. And let me tell you, we got Pacome Dadier on that bench. And he might make the world of difference. That guy has something. Phenomenal three-point shooter. He can get to the basket and deliver. Great size. And he's a very good defender. I can see him replacing Josh Hart in this rotation. Sandman says, time to break Nova Knicks. Yes, it is. Trade Bridges and Hart and cancel that Trash Roommates podcast. Bridges, I'm not sure. I'm not sure about trading him. He definitely has a unique, interesting talent, but in the right situation, let's say Giannis becomes a real possibility. Load up a package, Bridges, Hart, picks, whatever. But don't include Cat. I want to see Cat with Giannis on this team and Brunson. And then I want to see the rest of the NBA deal with that. But that's for another time. I'm focused on this stuff, but I appreciate that so much. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, McCullough. Foxy's in the house. Foxy points out that McCullough has the same motor as Hart and is a much, he says much better defender, but I think he's a smarter player. I think he's a smarter player as well. Man, I cannot believe the Knicks lost this fucking game. I can't believe they gave this game away. I am utterly disgusted by this. I'm so fucking pissed off by this. Look at these fucking 17 turnovers for no reason. Most of them were completely unforced errors, like they talk about in tennis. Unforced. Just, let me throw it to, I threw it to the wrong guy. Come on. And then Brunson, totally responsible for a lot of these himself. Over dribbling, pass the fucking ball. Man. Oh, man. You know, I was there for the ridiculous fucking Jeff Van Gundy dangling on Alonzo Mourning's leg and everyone getting tossed and having to miss Game 6 and Game 7. I mean, that was horrific to deal with. But it came from a desire to win. Tonight was like they just rolled over. They literally just played into the Pacers' hands. And after a very good first quarter where the Knicks held the Pacers to just 25 points, the Knicks still lost that quarter 25-24, but if they kept that pace, it would have been 100 points or less. And usually, when the Pacers are held to under 105 points or less, they lose every game in the playoffs. Or, I mean, in general, or in the playoffs. I want to thank all of you tremendously for being here the whole season. I mean, it's look, right now it's hard to, reflect and think back at what a wonderful season it was. We'll have time for that. I'll be doing some lives for sure in the off season. I'm not going to go away this year like I was last year. Last year I lost my mother, and then I lost my father within 7 weeks of each other. So it kind of was a big, major hit. But no, this year it'll be different. I'll be focused on how this team can build upon all the amazing things they did achieve this year, because they did. I'm just terribly disappointed right now, but I know that they did achieve amazing things, and I'm really proud of the team. Very proud of the team. I'm proud of the fans who stuck with the team all this time, and I'm even proud of the fans who are angry at me throughout the season for calling certain things out, but still we're right there. And for everyone who totally stuck with this, no one believed this team could even beat the Celtics, but I knew they could, and I pointed it out exactly how it could happen, and literally they did like almost everything that they needed to do that. I just thought that the Pacers, it wouldn't be as big a task for this Knicks team. JD's in the house. What's up, brother? Foxy, thank you so much, brother. I appreciate all the support. Foxy and JD are like my co-producers here on this show with constant input, content. Let's see here. Hold on. Structural or You know what? Let's talk about next season for a few minutes. What do you think? What do you think, you guys? What do you guys think the Knicks and Leon Rose should do next season for the New York Knicks to win an NBA championship? I believe personally, if an opportunity presents itself for the Knicks to acquire a Giannis Antetokounmpo or a Kevin Durant, depending on the cost, if they can, they should. If they can, they should. But also, Leon, unlike this year, you need to keep some dollars available, or whatever, salary cap or whatever they call it now, CBA flexibility, to bring in some high quality role players onto the squad. You did eventually. I mean, Shamet, he just got hurt earlier in the year, and then Thibs just forgot about him. Precious, he's very limited. He cannot handle, you know what? Get this fucking guy out of here. Fuck you, bro. Fuck you. You're out of here. Fuck you. You're a clown, Andre. I want to see the Knicks go after Trey Murphy. I want to see the Knicks get someone like that. We need some long, active 3-and-D guys who are real defenders who can shoot the three, who are not afraid to shoot the three. I'm going to get some of those guys on this team. Herb Jones, fabulous. Love Herb Jones. DeJounte Murray isn't the guy that he was before anymore. But we need what DeJounte Murray was when he was with San Antonio. He got hurt. He just isn't that guy, but I love that idea, like that kind of an idea. I love Cason Wallace from OKC. I don't think OKC is going to be able to hold on to everybody, so I'd like him. Brunson obviously is fantastic. I think the Pelicans are willing to trade him. Sandman. I think Pelicans are willing to trade Trey Murphy. And Andre Jackson. Nice. I like Andre Jackson, Bootsy Jones. I like him. I want just quality players who understand the team game, who play both ends, who can shoot, who are not like so limited. They're not one-dimensional. We need multi-dimensional players on this team. let's just be honest. The two finalists of the NBA season are teams that have rosters loaded with multi-dimensional players. Even our guy Obi, he gets out on the break. He's athletic. He can finish. He can shoot the three. Yeah, he's not a great rebounder. He's not a great defender, but he's an active body, and they lean into that with their pace. OKC has just phenomenal defenders. They have two great defenders coming off the bench. That's what we need here in New York. The fact that we didn't even have that and we got this far is a tremendous achievement. It's really a tremendous achievement, honestly. But the biggest decision for this off season is not going to be whether Leon creates a package to bring in a Giannis or a Kevin Durant. It's going to be whether he holds on to Tom Thibodeau. I'm going to put a poll up, and I want you guys to be honest. Don't be emotional. Don't be emotional. Be really as objective as you possibly can. Should Tom Thibodeau Thibs return as head coach next season? But I'm serious though. Don't answer right away. Don't answer right away. Search your soul. Search your soul. Should he return as head coach next season? I'm curious about how this is going to go. I bet we could get Zion cheap now. That whole thing with the rape thing, that's just horrible. I actually hope it's not true. I hope it is a bunch of bullshit. But be honest, guys. Be honest. Should Thibodeau be brought back or let go? Or promoted? Dan Hurley. Ooh, I like that, Sandman. I like that a lot. Oh, wow. Dan Hurley. That would be nice. Let me see. Do we even have a first round pick? We don't, right? I don't think the Knicks have a first round pick. I can't remember. I've checked out of the drafts mentally, so let's see. Maybe we can trade for a first round pick. It is a nice draft. But we have Pacom Dadier just sitting right there. We have a guy, I forgot his name. Foxy, maybe you remember his name. He was part of part of the deal that we made with the Nets when we traded for Mikal Bridges. I forgot his name. And then Rokas. We still have Rokas. We just need guys that can come out and just pop. Like, really give us something beautiful. I think Pakomdade can. I think he really can. Johnny Bryant. I would go for that. Bringing Johnny Bryant back. Thrifty by Nature says, George, I've been Thibs' biggest supporter because of his defensive mindset, but where the fuck was the defense? Exactly. Where the fuck was that defense? I think the Knicks don't have... Yeah, we don't have a first-round pick. Brooklyn has it. But maybe we can trade for one. I mean, how many first-rounders can OKC have? I mean, they're already loaded. They're about to win the NBA championship. They have the 15th pick from Miami. They have the 24th pick from the Clippers. You know, the Knicks have done well in this area here of drafting. Yeah. Let's see what else. Houston has the 10th pick. Houston has Terry Eason. I like him a lot. Not sure what his contract situation is, but he'd be an interesting addition to this team. Kamari, is that a name from Portland? I'd like him a lot. Who else? God, I can't believe we fucking lost like this. We had game one right there. I can't believe we lost like this. But it was game two. I'm telling you guys, it was game two that was the major disappointment. Because a team that loses a game like they did in game one, they should come out and respond in a tremendous fashion in game two, especially on their home court. They should not have allowed that game to have unfolded the way it did. Oh, Jay, sorry, bro. Did I miss your super chat? Let me see here. I appreciate all the super chats tremendously. Let me scroll back. Jay says, did you see the Edwards and Katz report? Fire Tom. I did not. I did not see that. From The Athletic? I did not see that. Let me see. I'm going to pull it up here. I appreciate the super chat. Here we go. All right, here it is from The Athletic. Inside Knicks in perfect yet historic season, how they build off it. I'm going to have to read this in detail. Okay. So there's not like a quick bullet point. Okay. If you can drop in there what the gist of it was, that'd be great. I will have to read this afterwards. I mean, I read all this stuff later on. Going forward, will the organization view Towns as a 4 or a 5? That's a good question. The Nova Knicks. Yeah, I'm going to have to review this later on. But I appreciate it. Thank you so much for the super chat. I will definitely look at that later. Right now, overwhelmingly, let's see here. It says, should Thibs return as head coach next season? Overwhelmingly, 77% say no. I'm going to say no as well. I'm voting no. He doesn't deserve to come back. This was his year. He did a great job to some extent, but he shot himself and the team in the foot by overplaying the regulars, and like his obsession with Josh Hart ultimately cost the Knicks this series. honestly. It did. That game 4. I know I'm harping on game 2, but game 4 was right there too. Ridiculous play by our players in game 4. Ridiculous play. The fourth quarter, Knicks lost that too, 33-31. 4 of 14 from the three-point line. And Karl Anthony Towns, our best three-point shooter, attempted only one three-point shot. In a game where you're trying to catch up and your best three-point shooter only attempts one three, I mean, you can't tell me that is the players. That's the coach. That's the coach. But the players definitely bear like 90% of the responsibility for this loss tonight. This particular loss tonight. Knicks even got out-rebounded in this quarter, 11-9. Wow. Oh, man. I can't believe the season's over. I can't believe the season ended like this. Here's the lead tracker. The Knicks had, somewhat an okay close to the first quarter. Kept them around. It was 25-24. They were only down 1 point. And then the third quarter was pretty much, back and forth. They tied it midway through, and it was just a 1 point game very late. But then they let the Pacers close strong in that second quarter, going into the half, and Knicks were down by, here it says 6. I thought we were down 4. Well, maybe it's that's wrong. Actually, they were down by 4. And then immediately, within the first minute and a half, 2 minutes of that third quarter, it went up to a 12-point deficit. And then it got up to 15 midway through that third quarter. Knicks made a nice rally right there to cut it to 7. And that's pretty much the closest it ever was for the rest of the game. That fourth quarter was just a beatdown. You can see it right there. Game was tied 5 times. 5 lead changes. Longest run was 9. Biggest lead for the Pacers was 21, which was towards the end of the fourth quarter. Biggest lead for the Knicks was 5. Oh, man. M. Roman, 81. 81 M. Roman, thank you so much for the super chat. Multiple seasons to build the rotation. Fire Thibs. I'll be honest with you. I'll be very, very surprised if Leon does actually fire Thibs. I don't think he will. Even though we overwhelmingly think, as a fan base, that he should, I don't think he will. So, in light of the high probability that Leon will not fire Thibs, what would be the move that these Knicks can do to get us back to this place and into the finals next year? What do you guys think would be the move? I want to hear it in the comments. But I definitely think we have to trade Josh Hart. That dynamic has to be changed. Josh Hart hurt us tremendously. Lionel Argamonte, oh my God, thank you so much for the super chat. Really appreciate that. He says, this is painful, my brother, but Thibs needs to be promoted. Yes. Hart needs to be traded, and JB needs to learn how to produce assists. Michael Malone and trade for Giannis. You need Kobe Brea, the best sniper in the NCAA today. Oh, I love this. Now, I love that. That is nice. I'm gonna do a screen grab of that. Love that. Appreciate that, brother. That's the kind of thinking I'm thinking about. I love that. Giannis. Giannis is the guy, yeah. I really think that Leon is going to make a serious play for Giannis, and I think Giannis wants to come to New York. I think that it may require a team, like a third team, to help make it happen in terms of the assets. Unfortunately, with the contracts the way they are, it may require Towns to be part of that deal. And I say unfortunate because I do think that Cat, with in a certain environment, could definitely be a key piece of a championship team because he has such unique talents. We didn't get to see it enough tonight. And that's on him, honestly. But we saw it. I mean, the 2 wins we had were because Cat just stepped up huge. The 2 wins we had in this Eastern Conference Finals was because Cat stepped up big time. The 20-point fourth quarter, and in the last game, he was phenomenal. He's just unique in that way. It would be great to pair him with a Giannis, but it's just a matter of the CBA and the apron and all that shit. So we'll see if that can happen. Drew's Reviews, what's up, brother? He says, how we get to the finals is by bringing over Rokas and Hugo Besson, trading Josh Hart and firing Thibs. I don't think there has to be that many changes. Our coach single-handedly cost us this series. Very legit concerns, very legit comments right there. M81M Roman says we need another superstar added to get back because Thibs isn't adjusting on defense or offense. Keep JB, Cat, OG, Mitch, Deuce, Shaman, and Wright. Everyone else is fair game. I do believe, and I'm sure Foxy will back me up on this, that if someone like a Trey Murphy could be like that perfect addition to this team. Because then you would have, you could put him at the 4 next to Cat when it's Cat out there by himself. And then you could put him at the 3 when you have Cat and Mitch together. And then you go with either OG or McCall next to Brunson. I mean, look at that. Look how much larger we just got. Basically swapping Josh Hart for Trey Murphy could completely blow open all the possibilities for this team. And then you have Bacom Dadier, year 2. You give him like lots of floor time. But the problem, it always comes down to Thibs. He's just so slow to adapt to all this stuff. Man. What a bummer of an ending. I really thought we were going to get a Game 7. I really thought that the Knicks had figured some stuff out in that Game 5. And they were going to be able to roll it into Game 6. In some ways, I feel like it was like one of those, like, I wish we had just, it was like a back-to-back, or we had an extra day or 2 in between. The 48 hours in between, I could feel it. I was tight. I was tight today. I mean, I also have other reasons for that, but I was just tight. I was like, all right, what's going to happen? What team is going to show up? Is Towns going to deliver? Is he going to commit stupid fouls? Is Brunson going to be as sharp as he was in that first quarter in Game 5? Is he going to replicate that in Game 6? Is Thibs going to brain fart again and just leave certain lineups in too long? Like all of that stuff. My mind was just clouded with all these thoughts. And it was because it came back to those first 2 losses of this series. And I know everyone's going to keep talking about Game 1, but to me, it was Game 2 that was the most crucial loss of this series. Because game one's already done. That's over. Now you have game two. You were once up. You had the game. You had game one in your hands. So now you should come out and roll over these guys in your home court. And they didn't. And they didn't. Herb Jones would be nice. Herb Jones would definitely be nice. My God. All right, Knicks played their worst when it mattered the most. And that's the story of this series. In the first game, they played their worst when it mattered the most. They even had a lead in overtime and then coughed it up. They could have, be going to Indiana 1-1 if they had taken care of business in game two. They didn't do it. So then they're like, okay, you put yourself in a situation where you have to pull off a miracle. Not a miracle, but you have to have a historic comeback. And you win game three. You pull it off. Great. And then you cough up game four. Then you come home, you take care of business in game five. You're like, okay, and you discover how to slow down the Pacers. And then somehow forget how to do it in the second quarter of this game. And now they are headed to the NBA championship. And you're going on vacation. But I have to show this again. Momentum killer right here, man. Major momentum killer. Here it is. Where did he step out of bounds? He didn't even step out of bounds there. He actually never stepped out of bounds. Brothers claims where's the out of bounds? There's no out of bounds. That was a crucial moment in the game. How many calls like this have gone against the Knicks this playoff series? Or this whole playoffs, honestly? I would count at least a half dozen. There's been at least 6 calls. Also, like the goaltending, the goaltending calls that were not called, or the goaltending call that was called that shouldn't have been called. The officiating was just completely horrific, and it really did cost the Knicks an opportunity to get back in this game. Wow. All right, let me just go back and review the stats here before we sign off. Man, I'm so fucking disgusted. So disgusted by this. OG Anunoby played a great game, but he finished a minus 15. The starting unit just got cooked in this game, but it was mostly in the second half, I believe. See if this has come back up. Yeah. Oh, yeah, here it is. In the first half, the starting unit was kind of right there. OG was a minus 5. Carl was a minus 6. Carl only had 8 points at the half. Mitch was a minus 5, but Bridges was a plus 2. Jalen was a plus 2. We were right there. We were only down 4 points at the half. You come out and win the second half, you win this game. You put yourself in a chance to, but then in the second half, It was just a total collapse. And look who was the worst player in the second half. Jalen Brunson, a minus 20. Wow. Thank you, Lionel, for your super chat. Lionel says, Thibs is not the problem. This team needs more than the ISO game from JB. Axel Lendenborg would be a perfect replacement for Precious. Jean Montero is a beast. Player of the month in the Spanish league. Awesome. I will definitely going to investigate those two guys. Thank you for that. Thank you for that so much. And the super chat. Definitely will investigate that. So at this point, it looks like it was our All-NBA, All-Star, Captain Clutch, who ultimately was responsible for this defeat. It's hard to, it's right there. It's right there. The numbers don't lie. Mikal wasn't much better. Minus 19 for him. And there was a time at one point where the game was kind of like hanging in a balance, and Thibs was playing the old starting lineup, and they got destroyed, which was Josh Hart. You can see he's a minus 8. It was during that period. Deuce was a minus 8 in just 5 minutes. Knicks just got thoroughly throttled in this second half. That's the risk that you have when you're on the road. The road team could just feel the momentum. They could sense, they could taste the blood in the water after that first half when you had, shown you'd built a little bit of a lead. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Well, look, no one's more disappointed than me. No one's more disappointed than me about this. But I'll take this level of disappointment any day over the irrelevance of looking at the lottery draft. And that's where I have to look at to get any kind of, joy, or excitement. This is so much better. This was, what a great run this season was. The New York Knicks did some historic things. The only team ever to come back from 3 20-point deficits in the playoffs. The only team ever in history. Fantastic. If they hadn't blown that game 1, we'd be probably going back to game 7 in MSG right now on Monday. And then you never know what can happen on your home court. So we're so close. Just literally 2 games away, 2 wins away from the NBA championship finals. Definitely better than last year. Last year we didn't even make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. So in that respect, it's definitely a successful season. There's no way, shape, or form anyone's going to tell me otherwise that it wasn't a successful season. It's totally a successful season. Look at us here right now. It's midnight. June 1st already. June 1st. And we're talking about a Knicks loss that just happened. That hasn't happened in 25 years. So enjoy it. I know it's difficult right now, but I believe after the bitterness, the taste of this loss and being, ousted from the series, once that settles in, we will look back upon this season as it being a success. And it was. There's no way, shape, or form to think about it otherwise, unless you're a super, super negative person. This was ultimately a successful season. Only there were literally everyone was on vacation except for OKC, Indiana, and the Knicks at the beginning of this day. That is a tremendous accomplishment. It doesn't satisfy me right now because I wanted a Game 7. I wanted an NBA Finals. I want an NBA championship ring. Can the Knicks and Leon retool to bring us that next season? I think they can. And I think Leon will not stop until he does. All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining me here on Into the Knicks-Verse this season. This is the last post game for this amazing season. I really appreciate everybody's support, all your comments, everything. When I say you guys are my co-collaborators, I really mean that. You guys really help me a lot. There's many times I overlook things. You guys point it out, or you confirm things that I've been saying, and then it helps me investigate that further. I really appreciate that. Shout out to Lex Destroyer, best mod around. Don't worry, it's coming to you. Monday, I'm going to that post office. Foxy, thank you so much for all your input. JD, JB Smooth, Links Black, Drew's Reviews, Francis Coleman, In the Arms of God, we got in here. Nicholas Joseph, John Jacobs, everybody. Taka, thank you so much, brother. Margaret Edwards, I saw her earlier. 81M Roman. Lionel, thank you so much for all the super chat and the support throughout the season. Jacobs Sizemore. It's been a great, phenomenal run. Unfortunately, only one team gets to celebrate at the end of every NBA season. And we were just 2 teams away from that. Maybe next season will be different. Let's hope. Maybe next season it'll be us going to the finals. Riding all that vibe. Let's go. I hope so. Love you guys. All right, I'm going to sign off. I don't really want to, but I'm going to sign off. Thank you to everybody. Let's go Knicks. Let's go Knicks next year. I will see you. I'm going to see you very soon. You guys. I'm going to do more shows immediately next week. We're going to be talking about what we're going to do in the off season. I think even if we don't have a second, I think we do have a second round pick. But I have a feeling Leon's going to make some moves. There's going to be some big trades in the off season. And then it's going to be a very, very, very active off season. A lot of teams need to figure out what to do with themselves, and maybe the Knicks can sit there and just pick up some great additions to this squad. It'd be wonderful. All right, I will see you next week around the Knicks-Verse. Thank you all so much.